What's up, guys? By the time you see this, it'll have been about a week, a week straight of just pure gameplay. I think it's a good enough time for a podcast video. I wanted to do two mini reviews for the games I've been playing recently. Bayonetta 2, unfortunately, the reason I'm not doing a video review is not necessarily because I'm lazy. It's because Bayonetta 2, I don't own a Wii U. I can't really record it at the gaming lounge, and Closers is just so poorly optimized that it wouldn't really feel right actually putting together the effort to make an edited video review for it. It would be in really poor quality, low frame rate. It's just not worth it in general. I don't have enough raw footage of the game not actually like struggling to render, so I'm just gonna half-ass it today. Bayonetta 2, I like the game. I like some of the changes they made. There are also some things I really don't agree with. The coolest thing that they did was they made the weapons more unique. In the original Bayonetta, a lot of the weapons had the same basic moves. The only thing that really differentiated most of them was their hold mechanic and their spin mechanic. You had weapons like the Durga, which had the 360, the spin mechanic, which changed the moveset and the hold function. You had the Sai-Fung, which was, a really fast weapon with the ricocheting bullets that would hit stun pretty much anything that wasn't, the largest weight class. They really expanded on that in Bayonetta 2. It's just the problem is, I feel the humanoid bosses, a lot of the enemies in general, they went a little overboard with preventing air combos. It's kind of like Tales of Xillia. It's not quite as bad. You're actually given a chance to retaliate. It's just not really a whole lot of an air game in Bayonetta 2. You can kind of circumvent it by using the Bracelet of Time, but obviously that's an endgame item. That's after you played the game at least twice, if not 3 times at that point. To get the overall time down to unlock it. In terms of like just playing it your first time through, the combo game I feel is pretty limited. I'm not really sure why they went that direction. I saw people arguing about it on GameFAQs when the game came out in Japan a couple months ago. People were saying, it's to prevent sandbag enemies, kind of like, DMC. A lot of people didn't like how the enemies were kind of just punching bags. Once you got them in the air, it was GG for them. However, I feel Bayonetta has never really had that problem. I mean, your main enemy in that game, although in Bayonetta 2 they expanded it to demons as well, is angels, and most of them can fly. Most of them can and will, attack you in the air if you're doing an extended combo. I think it's kind of odd that they reduced the air game. It wouldn't bother me as much if it wasn't for the fact that, like I said, the weapons are much more unique. They have much more unique moves than they did before. Obviously, there are certain things like the PKP, Wicked Weaves, and stuff that every weapon has, but most of them, the movesets vary pretty vastly. I really like that direction. It's also the same thing with the humanoid bosses. The humanoid bosses are pretty much Tales of Xillia bosses. You can only hit them a couple times. It's kind of like I guess it plays out more like, a really well choreographed like Asian martial arts movie. People are getting hit and hitting each other back at like really fast speeds. But in terms of like actually being able to use a whole lot of your moveset in a combo, you can't do it much at all. I would have much rather preferred if they just made it so it was kind of like DMC, DMC 3 and 4, and even the reboot has it to a certain extent. I remember in DMC 3, the limit, I think it was 12 or 13 hits. If you staggered a humanoid boss like Virgil, you could get about a dozen hits in, and then, they would do like a reeling hit stun animation and your combo would end. I think that was a good way to do it. You couldn't infinite loop them for 2 minutes and make it so that they never actually get to fight you, but you could actually get a little variation in, use some more of your moveset. I don't really agree with that change. It's kind of a little polarizing thing. Some people like the combo break mechanic, but honestly, it's one of those things. It's not really about the combos as much as it is not being able to use your full aerial moveset. Uh, I feel it's kind of limiting. I'm only about halfway through the game. I normally don't review games when I haven't finished them, but it's going to be a long time until I actually get to sit down and finish it. I've got a bunch of shit I have to pay for, vacation ticket and stuff like that. So I like the game. It's just some of the changes they made I don't particularly agree with. If they ever make another one, I would just like them to, encourage aerial combat a little more. I think they had it great in the first one. The humanoid bosses in the first one, you could combo them, but it was very, subdued, I guess you could say. You couldn't, do the crazy stuff you could do on like the what was the Ardors, the guys with the bows that had like a bunch of health that you saw in every single combo video. You couldn't do anything like that, but I think they struck a good balance. It's a shame that they kind of just threw that out the window. I actually wanted more humanoid bosses in Bayonetta 2. The game doesn't disappoint in that field. I think the people who wanted more big bosses kind of need to realize they really increase the bar. They raise the bar for huge, giant, half-scripted bosses in the first Bayonetta. There really wasn't a whole lot farther for them to go in that aspect. So I like that they have more humanoid bosses. It's just a shame that you can't really do a whole lot on them. Like, I would be happy if it was just like the first one, where, if you got like a Witch Time Punish or something, you could do a launch and like one air combo. I think that would be, good enough. Just the way it is now, it's kind of limiting. I also wanted to do a little review on Closers. Like I said, I don't do reviews on games that I haven't finished, almost never. Usually I only do a review after I played a game extensively, but due to the nature of an MMO, especially an action MMO where they can change mechanics a lot, you can't ever actually finish a game, an MMO game. You can get close, but the game is always going to be running until it shuts down, and a lot of these games are night and day differences from when they're released and when they're near they're on their deathbed. DFO and DNF, those games have changed tremendously since they first launched. I think Closers is going to be the same way. Closers, in general, has a really good foundation for an action MMO. It's got a much better overall package from the start than a lot of other things did. DNF had a pretty rocky start. Obviously, that was one of the first major action MMOs. Pretty much every other action MMO you play, be it Eastern or Western, draws some influence from that game, whether you like it or not. Closers is pretty. I like the freeform combat system. You can do the skill chains and stuff like that. It allows you to, use the moves more freely. It has a pretty good combo freedom. The game is pretty streamlined. You can get your quests and get back into a map pretty fast. The party system is really nice too. I guess it's similar to more popular, a lot of the esports games like StarCraft, Hearthstone, and League of Legends. You can put yourself in a queue and it will wait for up to a minute. At that point, it will tell you how many people are willing to party with you, and you can just decide to search again or go with whoever it found. I like that part of it. Just my main problem with the game is the boss fights and the artificial difficulty. This is something every single Eastern action MMO that I've ever played has had this problem, but Closers has it really bad right now. There's just certain enemies. There's lots of little weird systems that reduce the damage you do. If you try to do like a dash cancel infinite, the game has like a ground combo protection that will knock them down. Once you knock them down, you get reduced damage. And the enemies are very HP spongy, I guess you could say. The bosses, if you're soloing in that game, it's pretty rough unless you have really good gear, because they give them like a metric ass ton of health. I think it depends on which character you're playing. Jay, the martial artist guy that you've been seeing in the videos, he doesn't have it as bad as the other characters because his HP pool is also what he uses to use his moves. Basically, he combines both resources into one. But the other characters, a friend of mine was talking about how he plays as the mage chick. You know, he said once she's out of MP, you know, she's pretty much useless. I think they need to reduce the HP scaling if you're soloing. I think they need to reduce it in general. The way it is now in that game, it scales even more if you have more people in your party, which means it's kind of like DNF but worse. In DNF, the scaling was never bad enough. Usually it ended up being faster if you had more people with you, if they had good gear. In Closers, the problem is, you know, if 1 or 2 people have really bad gear and 2 people have good gear, it's going to end up taking longer because the other 2 people aren't doing enough damage to accommodate for the scaling. I'm not really sure what to think of the game so far. I've put a significant amount of time into it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the end. I'm near the end of the game by the time you see this. I may be at the end completely. I only have like 10 more levels to gain before I reach the level cap, but they just need to reduce the artificial difficulty. It kind of reminds me of, you know, God of War bosses on like the harder difficulties. You know, where they have like 3 moves, but they have like 50 health bars. It's not really challenging in the traditional sense. It's challenging in the fact that you run out of resources unless you're chugging and spamming potions. That's definitely not the kind of difficulty I want in that game. It's totally fine that the enemies, the bosses, aren't punching bags. They actually do fight back. You can't kill them in one combo. But the problem is it kind of conflicts with the resource management and your overall execution. The bosses kind of go into random super armor. I'm not really sure how that mechanic works. There's not a whole lot of documentation since the game just came out. They just need to reduce the artificial difficulty. There's a lot of quality of life problems in the game. The optimization is really poor. I've been on Closers HQ, and people have been saying, you know, they have like top of the line GTX 970 cards or whatever the latest one is, and even their frame rate is going down during certain effects. It's pretty unacceptable for that kind of game. You know, I don't have the greatest computer or video card in the world. I have a GTX 570 that Apothecary 2 gave me from his collection of video cards. You know, that's not the best card in the world. It's about 4.5 years old at this point. But I can run stuff like, you know, the newest DMC games, Lords of Shadow 2, other stuff like that, the core port on PC at 60 FPS, and Closers is little small contained beat 'em up environments, and that game struggles to run really well. They definitely need to fix that. I think that's something that you can get away with in a more traditional MMO with, you know, standard you know, hotkey cycling combat. But in an action game like that, I've had to deal with the frame rate fluctuating a lot. I'm usually not much of a snob when it comes to frame rate, but in this game, it's definitely a pretty big extreme. You spend, at least on my computer, you spend a lot of time fighting the frame rate and fighting with resource management and HP sponges. I'm really excited for the future of the game. They've already made some pretty major improvements. The update schedule is pretty crazy. It's about as rapid as PSO2 was last year with how much stuff they're adding. I just hope that they scale things back a bit, not necessarily to give the new content time to breathe, but just to fix the optimization. I'm kind of at the point where I want to get my J up to at least level 40 to 42 so that I can do his promotion quest. But the problem with that is the frame rate is so bad. The quest that you have to do to get your final class change, I can tell it's going to be a nightmare on the frame rate. They really need to optimize it. If not just make it run better on, you know, more diverse cards, they need to make it so that you can turn off the effects. Right now, the you know, quality or, you know, video settings are very bare bones. You have a slider that you can move to the left or right depending on how well you want it to run. You have VSync and HDR. That's it. And full screen and windowed, of course. That's pretty much all you have. Which doesn't really help things in the long run, because the main things that cause like the frame rate issues are a lot of the random effects. Anything fire. I've had a lot of videos that I wanted to put up for you guys while I was doing my level ups, or leveling up, and I couldn't because the levels had too much fire and just made the frame rate plummet. That poison, the dimensional portals that the enemies come out of, they all just screw with the frame rate. I don't really care what they have to do. They really need to fix it. It's kind of made me consider not playing the game anymore until they fix it. That and the HP sponge enemies just makes for a frustrating experience. It's obviously designed to be kind of a stress reliever game. That's what beat 'em ups are supposed to be. It's got a really great foundation. They just need to fix those few things. They need to reduce or nerf the HP scaling, both in soloing and parties. They need to optimize the game better. I think once they do those two things, it'll be a really solid experience. But right now, I don't really know if I can recommend it. If you don't have a top-of-the-line computer, you're going to have issues with it. And like I said, even if you do, people have been saying, they're having frame rate issues with those effects that I just mentioned too. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I just thought this would be pretty informative. People have been asking a lot about Closers. They want my thoughts. They just want English-speaking thoughts in general. The game just came out. Obviously, getting a Nexon Korea account is difficult unless you know about how to get one, which I've already detailed in the past. So I thought I would get my opinion out. I don't know if I'll be playing it much on this channel anymore. It may just be off camera. Like I said, the optimization is just so bad that I can't really display it in the way that I want to, because I'm constantly fighting with the frame rate. I don't really think that's an enjoyable experience either. You guys want a solid, smooth frame rate, and both the game and my computer can't handle it right now. So we'll see what the future holds. They've already got a pretty extensive roadmap for the game planned through March. I've got my fingers crossed that in at least one of those patches they work on some optimization, because they can add as much stuff as they want, but if the game is going to run as choppy as it does now, and if the HP scaling is going to get as crazy as it is, keep in mind I'm 10 levels away from the cap, and it's already getting pretty excessive. I don't know if people are going to stick around. The Korean action MMO market is insane. I'd say it's just as bad as the current market with AAA and indie games. It's hard to get noticed in that field. A lot of them shut down. Mystic Fighter Online came and went. I never even got to try out that game. It shut down so fast. I think they need to work on making the game run better before they add too much stuff. The game's got a lot of content for something that's only been out for about 2 months. It's just it runs so poorly for a lot of people that I don't think people are going to be able to enjoy it like they want to. Anyway, that's it for today. The computer has stabilized by the time you see this. I made some slight changes and it seems to be okay for now. I did get an estimate. It looks like I'll be able to afford it. So I guess from now on, if people donate anything to me, it will probably be put towards future projects. I have a couple things that I want to pick up. When or if they optimize Closers to not run like shit, I will definitely probably put some of that towards cash shop credit. The cash shop credit in the game is, or shop in the game, is not too crazy. It's not pay to win, but some of the things are nice to have. So we'll see what happens. Also, I will be doing Tokiden Kiwami. That's coming out a week after my birthday. So if things go right, if I decide to get it, I'm gonna have to do some more research. I may get Senran Kagura and Tokiden, but Tokiden for sure. So March is going to be pretty packed. February is going to be pretty barren. So we'll see what happens. Peace.